Hello good people, I'm going to talk about trigonometry ratios, sine, cosine and tangent. These three are very important functions that establish the relationship between an angle and the sides of a right-angled triangle. Before I look into these functions more closely, let's label the sides of this triangle with respect to the angle theta. I tend to start by labeling the opposite side because that one is very easy to identify. I'm looking at the side that is opposite to the angle theta. In this case, that is side B. So B is the opposite side. Angle theta sits on side A, which means side A is the adjacent side. And that leaves side C, the longest side, as the hypotenuse. The relationship between angle theta and the sides of this triangle is given by three formulas. Firstly, we have sine of theta. So notice that the function sine is shortened to sin, which is still pronounced sine, as in SING. And sine of theta equals the length of the opposite over the length of the hypotenuse. So in this particular case, the opposite is B and the hypotenuse is C. The next formula is the formula that uses cosine. Cosine is shortened to cos, and it is written COS. So cos of theta equals adjacent over the hypotenuse. So in this case, that would be A over C. And finally, there is tangent, which is shortened to tan. Tan of theta equals opposite over the adjacent. And in this case, that would equal to B over A. One way to remember these formulas is to use the mnemonic SOHCAHTOA. So stands for sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. Ka stands for cosine of the angle equals adjacent over the hypotenuse. And TOA stands for tangent of an angle equals opposite over the adjacent. The choice of which formula to use will depend on what is given and what needs to be found out. For example, if I'm given the angle and the adjacent side and asked to calculate the length of the hypotenuse, I would use cos. On the other hand, if I was given the angle, the length of the opposite side, and asked to calculate hypotenuse, I would use sine. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.